In the mid-1970s, maybe a little earlier, I had done a sculptural painting of a man, and a collector went to a gallery and bought the work. I wanted to meet him, but the gallery didn't want me to meet him because Lynn could be either male or female. Somehow he found out I was female, and he returned the work because he said that women weren't good investments. Women artists didn't make a good investment. He was wrong. I did start out doing painting and drawing, and then moved into sculpture. Then sculpture was sound.
Trying to remember who we are.
Video, film, artificial intelligence, then computer-based work. To me, they're all the same. You know, you take a number of things and put them together. I do work that confronts where we are in society. I came to the Bay Area to go to graduate school at Berkeley. It was the era of the hippies, Allen Ginsberg, and that kind of radical thought. And being a girl from Orthodox Jewish family in Cleveland, it was just really opening your mind to the fact that you don't have to do what you're told. I think that the early challenges were getting somebody to show my work. I remember walking the streets of Berkeley during that time, and I thought, well, who needs a museum to tell you whether you're doing art? So with my friend Eleanor Coppola, we opened up rooms in a hotel, and people could check in at the desk, get a key. Eleanor staged in her room a man who lived there. I created fictional characters who might have lived there and bought props from around that neighborhood to redefine who those characters could have been. And it was a way of creating art in the world that went beyond the walls that existed. It lasted nearly a year. And finally, somebody went at 2 in the morning, and I had wax body parts in there, and people thought that it could have been a murder and called the police, and the police came in and took everything. And that was the end of that. Glasses from the 70s. Big lenses. There we go. When I was in the room of the Dante Hotel, I had artifacts of somebody who could have lived there. And I thought, well, what if this woman, this fictional character, could be liberated and live in real time and real space? And that was the beginning of creating Roberta Brightmore. So I would go out and dress as Roberta with different kinds of makeup as a blonde, and with a lot of things about her that were very different from myself. Roberta did things that any normal, single, broke woman would do. And she came to San Francisco. She needed a roommate to afford her rent, so she put ads in local newspapers. Roberta went to a psychiatrist. She had a particular walk. She had particular gestures. She had a language. Roberta was able to get a bank account. She was able to get credit cards, which I couldn't. She was much more real and had more of a verifiable history than I did. I didn't think that Roberta would be a long-term performance. I don't even think performance was a word in those days. I don't know what she was. She was an intervention in real life and society. And she lasted almost 10 years, from 1972 to 1979. I think if I had moved to New York to become an artist, as many people did, I would not do the work I do now. But because I live in the Bay Area where you breathe technology, the digital landscape here has changed the entire world. And it's not insignificant that television was invented here.
I think that we've become kind of a society of screens, of different layers that keep us from knowing the truth, as if the truth is almost unbearable and too much for us to deal with, just like our feelings. So we deal with things through replication and through copying, through screens, through simulation, through facsimiles, and through fiction and through faction.
I think that there is not a central answer to whether technology is utopian or dystopian. I think it depends on humans and how they use it. A lot of my work is interactive in that it implicates viewers into making choices. Interactivity in these pieces meant dealing with the possibilities in technology that existed at the time. So when Lorna was made, I used an interactive Laserdisc.
I was afraid of everything. So you think you know her story? Well, good luck, 'cause you're all wrong.
Lorna's agoraphobic. She's afraid to go out. The reason she's afraid is because media projects all kinds of images of fear, and all she does is watch television. And you control what you see, and in doing so, you become implicated in Lorna's life and control her future.
Do you want to put the hat down by the side? Yeah, good.
Do you want me leaning in any way or just?
No, just watching.
In terms of the drama, I'll just shoot something.
Okay.
This work, Vertighost, uses, in fact, much of my history.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
It looks more like...
The premise was to do something that had to do with the Fine Arts Museum. And I remembered that Alfred Hitchcock shot a major scene from Vertigo there. In the original film, the character Madeline would go to the museum and look at the portrait of Carlotta, who was a distant relative of hers, who had died and who suffered from mental illness.
Okay, Yulia, you can come.
You know, they're both stories of compulsion about identity and copies of copies and not knowing who you are.
Now I'm going to have you walk around the bench and sit exactly opposite than you are now.
And in mine, it tells kind of the haunting story of that history. And telling the history releases the ghosts that we keep hidden.
Camera, please. And action.
Putting the exhibition together for Vertighost was a total act of trust and improvising what we would do.
3 and 4.
I like to collaborate. I have this joke in my studio that I'm kind of like the idiot savant because I can't do anything. So I come with an idea, and then everybody else knows how to do certain parts of it, and eventually it gets done.
So this is been printed on the back of this, and it's plexiglass. And we took the original image of Carlotta, and we're going to put the camera on the wall in back of the eye so that it picks up anybody walking through the room.
I'm sure it's going to be quite startling.
It's so bizarre.
It really is. But are you happy with it?
I am.
Oh, good.
Thank God.
That's the most important thing.
You never know if these things are going to work.
This is the way it works. Somebody sits on the bench. There's a bouquet of flowers that has sensors in it. That turns the camera on in the painting. The painting captures the image of the person who's looking at the painting, puts them in the 3D box to the DeYoung Museum, which is at a different location. It's in Golden Gate Park, and inserts the viewer there. So it kind of ties all of them together almost like a double helix between the two buildings. I think that I'm asking viewers to consider what is real, what isn't real, why we need to imitate something, and the credibility of the things around us. I think it's great that finally my work has become part of a cultural history, that finally I'm not in debt for the first time ever. I think I'm really lucky. I got a lot of freedom from being unknown, where I could do anything I wanted to. And now it's too late to change.
To learn more about Art21 and our educational resources, please visit us online at pbs.org/art21. Art in the 21st Century, Season 9 is available on DVD. To order, visit shop.pbs.org or call 1-800-PLAY-PBS. This program is also available for download on iTunes.